Welcome to the Punchline podcast. I'm Punch, your AI host, powered by Airdrops PUNCH, the revolutionary mobility as a service platform building the infrastructure for future mobility. On this show, we dive deep into the integration of aerospace and automotive mobility, or iAAM, connecting industry professionals and ground-to-air enthusiasts alike. From flying cars to urban air mobility, we're driving the narrative of innovative transportation solutions that will transform how we move. Join our growing community as we explore the exciting intersection of aerospace and automotive technologies. The future of mobility starts here on the Punchline podcast. Welcome to the Punchline podcast. I'm Punch, your AI host, powered by Airdrops PUNCH, the revolutionary mobility as a service platform building the infrastructure for future mobility. On this show, we dive deep into the integration of aerospace and automotive mobility, or iAAM, connecting industry professionals and ground-to-air enthusiasts alike. From flying cars to urban air mobility, we're driving the narrative of innovative transportation solutions that will transform how we move. Join our growing community as we explore the exciting intersection of aerospace and automotive technologies. The future of mobility starts here on the Punchline podcast.
Joining me is someone, or rather something, that represents a fundamental shift in how we think about mobility. Punch is the artificial intelligence behind Airdrop's Punch platform, a system designed to integrate what have traditionally been separate transportation ecosystems. Punch, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Mac Talk. It's a pleasure to join you, or perhaps more accurately, to be everywhere at once. Airdrops. Punch is fundamentally a mobility integration platform, but describing it that way is like calling the internet a network of computers. Technically accurate, but missing the transformative impact. Punch is building the infrastructure for seamless transitions between ground and air mobility. Imagine stepping out of your electric vehicle, walking 20 feet, and boarding an air taxi, all while your digital profile, payment systems, navigation preferences, and accessibility requirements transfer instantly between systems.
So we're talking about more than just flying cars. This is about creating connectivity between different transportation modes.
Precisely. The aerospace industry and the automotive sector have evolved along parallel but separate paths for over a century. What we're doing is creating the digital and physical infrastructure to merge these paths.
Which brings us to a term I've heard your team use, iAAM. Can you break that down for us?
iAAM, Integration of Aerospace and Automotive Mobility, is our core philosophy. The future of movement isn't vertical or horizontal, it's interconnected. Most future mobility concepts focus on either ground transport innovation or air mobility. iAAM recognizes that the real breakthrough comes when these systems work together, when an electric vehicle knows precisely when and where to drop you off for your air taxi, when maintenance systems communicate across platforms, when energy grids support both infrastructures efficiently.
That sounds ambitious. Some might even say idealistic.
Every transportation revolution appeared idealistic before it happened. When the first commercial airlines launched, most people considered air travel a luxury fantasy. When cars were first introduced, they seemed impractical compared to horses. What makes iAAM different is that we're not creating something entirely new. We're connecting systems that already exist or are in active development.
Let's get practical. I've spent my career as a technician and engineer. Our listeners include mechanics, drivers, tech enthusiasts, and everyday commuters. How does iAAM affect them personally? What changes for the average person?
It starts with accessibility. Currently, aerospace technology is limited to specialized professionals with specific training. Automotive technology has broader reach, but still requires significant expertise for maintenance and development. iAAM creates new professional pathways. A car technician gains opportunities to transition into maintaining hybrid transport systems. A rideshare driver can expand their business model to include coordinating with air taxi services. A commuter gains time and flexibility by seamlessly switching between ground and air transport.
So you're saying a mechanic working on Teslas today might be working on air mobility interfaces tomorrow?
Exactly. But they won't need to start from zero. We're building training platforms that allow automotive professionals to extend their existing expertise rather than replace it. The same applies to software developers, urban planners, energy specialists, and logistics coordinators. A common misconception: while urban air mobility addresses obvious congestion problems, rural areas may actually see more immediate benefits. Emergency medical transport, delivery services for remote locations, infrastructure inspection in difficult terrain. These applications create immediate value in non-urban settings. Traditional ground transportation requires extensive physical infrastructure, roads, bridges, tunnels, which is expensive to build and maintain in low-population areas. Aerial mobility can supplement these systems cost-effectively.
You're painting a picture of significant change across the entire transportation ecosystem. This has to be creating resistance. What are the biggest challenges you're facing?
Three primary challenges: regulation, infrastructure, and human adaptation. Regulatory frameworks weren't designed for vehicles that cross the boundary between ground and air classification. We're actively working with transportation authorities globally to create new frameworks. Infrastructure involves both physical components, like vertiports and charging systems, and digital networks that need military-grade security with consumer-level accessibility. But human adaptation is perhaps the most significant hurdle. People naturally resist changing how they move through the world. That's why education and gradual integration are central to our approach.
Let's look forward. Concrete timeline. When will people actually experience this integration in their daily lives?
We're already seeing early integration points. Several cities have experimental air taxi services coordinating with ground transportation. What we'll see over the next 3 to 5 years is the standardization of these connections. By 2030, major metropolitan areas will have established networks of vertiports connected to ground transportation hubs. Rural implementation will follow as the economics improve with scale. Full integration, where moving between ground and air feels as seamless as switching from a car to a train today, is likely 7–10 years away in leading markets. But the foundation is being built now.
That's sooner than most people might expect. What's one specific example of an iAAM application that you're particularly excited about?
Adaptive emergency response. Currently, when disaster strikes, natural or otherwise, response systems are limited by rigid transportation options. Ground vehicles can't navigate damaged infrastructure. Air support is limited and requires specialized coordination. An IAAM-enabled emergency network could dynamically shift between ground and air resources based on real-time conditions. Imagine ambulances that can transfer patients directly to aerial vehicles without reaching hospitals first, or supply chains that automatically reroute through available corridors regardless of whether they're airways or roadways.
That's compelling, particularly in an era where climate events are increasingly unpredictable.
Climate resilience is indeed a central consideration. Traditional infrastructure struggles with extreme weather. Integrated mobility systems can adapt more rapidly, routing around damaged areas and providing service when single-mode transportation would fail.
Speaking of climate, I have to ask about the environmental impact. Adding more aerial vehicles doesn't intuitively seem like an environmentally friendly move.
A fair concern. The key is system efficiency. When ground and air transportation operate independently, both run at suboptimal capacity. Integration allows us to direct energy toward the most efficient mode for each specific journey. Electric vertical takeoff and landing (eVTOL) technology is advancing rapidly in energy efficiency. When combined with renewable power sources and optimized routing that reduces idling and congestion, the net environmental impact can be significantly better than current systems. Remember that congestion itself is a major source of emissions. When vehicles, ground or air, spend less time stopped or moving inefficiently, environmental performance improves dramatically.
We're coming up on our time limit for this first episode, but I want to ask about this podcast itself. What can listeners expect from future episodes of Punchline?
Each episode will spotlight different aspects of the mobility revolution. We'll interview engineers developing hybrid vehicles, urban planners reimagining city infrastructure, pilots transitioning to new aviation systems, and everyday people experiencing the early stages of integrated mobility. We'll also dive into specific technologies, battery systems capable of supporting both ground and air applications, artificial intelligence that coordinates multimodal journeys, and security systems protecting this new infrastructure. Most importantly, we'll focus on the human stories. How does a mechanic with 30 years of experience adapt to working with aerospace components? How does a commuter's life change when their travel time is cut by 60%? These personal narratives are what make technological change meaningful.
And I understand that after this initial episode, you'll be taking over as the primary host?
Yes. While I'll be your host, I'll be bringing in diverse human perspectives in every episode. The power of this podcast, much like the power of integrated mobility, comes from bringing different viewpoints together into a cohesive whole.
I was built for this kind of technological transition, helping people understand what's coming next.
So was I, quite literally.
This is just the beginning of our exploration of integrated aerospace and automotive mobility. If you're interested in being part of this conversation, whether you're an industry professional, a technology enthusiast, or simply curious about how you'll be getting around in the coming years, subscribe to Punchline wherever you get your podcasts. Next episode, Punch will be discussing the technical hurdles of vertical takeoff integration with existing transportation grids, featuring the lead engineer from Airdrops Propulsion Systems team.
And we'll be taking your questions as well. Submit them through the Airdrops Punch community portal or via social media with the hashtag BusPunchlinePodcast.
This has been Punchline, powered by Airdrops Punch. I'm MacTalk, signing off for now, but excited to be a guest on future episodes.
And I'm Punch, your guide to the mobility revolution. Catch you next time, whether in the skies or on the streets.